Hey, good evening. It's Friday, February 2nd, and it's Groundhog Day. And welcome back to Everyday Talks 24/7. Tonight, I want to talk about finding friends who can save your life. Finding friends who can save your life. And this is an important goal for us, no matter whether you're 7, 17, 37, 57, or 77. Find friends who can save your life. Well, okay, logical question. How do I do that? How is that possible? Well, we have a very interesting passage in Proverbs, chapter 13, and we're going to look at verse 14. If you looked at last night's video, this might sound familiar to you. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, turning a man from the snares of death. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, turning a man or a woman or a child from the snares of death. See, last night we looked at Proverbs chapter 14 that said this: the fear of the Lord is a fountain of life. So what Solomon is doing here is switching out the fear of the Lord and placing in it the teaching of the wise. Wisdom is something, we think of teaching of the wise, you think of a classroom, people sitting down in class, maybe Sunday school or a Sunday sermon. That is not what's being talked about here. It may include that, but that's not the point. Wisdom is an acquired skill learned in the trenches of life, not in safe places, not in places where there's no threat. But wisdom is learned in the muck, the mess, the battlefield, the challenges of everyday life. Wisdom is taking the truth of God and applying it to our lives. There's perhaps no more basic truth than to learn the fear of the Lord, because that's a fountain of life. The best way to learn that is to be with people who have a fear of the Lord, who have an honest, deep fear of the power and awesome greatness of God, and who realize that He is no one to be trifled with, but also people who love God, who love Him with all of their hearts and are committed to Him, and then people who trust Him. See, if you find friends who have a healthy fear of God, who love God with all of their heart and ready to give their whole life up to Him, who are trusting Him, who take His word at face value and live by it, that's a fountain of life. That's what relationships are supposed to do for us, and friendships. The flip side of that is our friendships that are not based upon the fear of the Lord, of honoring Him, of trusting Him and loving Him, will pull us away. 1 Corinthians 15:33, bad company corrupts good character. At the beginning of Proverbs, there are people who come in from the camp, friends of people, young people, and say, throw your lot in with us, and we'll make a fortune doing things that are wrong. Friends are important. We need friends. We are designed for relationships. God made us that way. John 17 teaches us that life is about relationships. The most greatest commandment is loving God and loving each other. It's relational. So the people that you choose as friends will either pull you towards the right sense of the fear of God, where they're fearing Him, loving Him, trusting Him, or they'll pull you away and say, no, there's another way. There's a better way. This God stuff is too constraining. Choose your friends on the basis of their love and fear of God. Nobody's going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. You aren't. The friends you choose will not be. But what is the orientation, the trajectory of their life? Do they know what repentance means? Do they know what a true friend will do? Someone who's not afraid to speak the truth to you, to give you that life-giving word that I need and that you need. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life, turning a man, a woman, a boy, a girl away from the snares of death, the traps of death. And we looked at James just recently. There are traps out there for us to lure us away into temptation. We want people who will stand with us, who will guide us, not in some kind of a high ivory tower teaching situation, but someone who is in the trenches with us, who has the love of God, the fear of God, and the trust of God uppermost in their life. They won't be perfect, as I said, but that's their direction. Find friends who have this orientation, this trajectory, this direction for their life. That's what Solomon is encouraging us to do here. The teaching of the wise is a fountain of life. Find those people who are wise. Look at the Proverbs. Study the Proverbs. That tells you where the wise people are. All the things, we've got a ton of things in the playlist for this channel that describe people who are wise. Find them. There may not be many. Find them. It is the greatest gift that you can find in human terms. And when you do that, you will find life itself, because you'll be engaging truly in the fear of God, even as you choose your friends. So, think about that. The teaching of the wise, it's a fountain of life. It will keep you from the trash, from the snares, from the traps of death. And that's the thought for this Friday, February 2nd. So great to be with you tonight, and Lord willing, we'll see you tomorrow. You have a great night. Bye-bye. Thank you for watching. May God richly bless you as you seek to live for His glory.